Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am just gathering starting materials because I am going to be starting compost pile number 2. If you don't know already, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. I took a class on assessing fire risk for homes that are between urban and wildlife interface, or in those areas, which there's more of because there's more development these days because there's more people. Anyway, and it got me questioning about soil health. And so long story short is I am now enrolled in the Soil Food Web School, where I am learning how to identify and measure the biomass of microorganisms that are in soil and that are actually responsible for building soil health. Okay, and this totally excites me because from everything I've been learning, this is a game changer. We can change things around. All the bad news that we've been seeing, every day, hearing on the news. Yeah, we can change that around. But what we need to learn how to do is to work with the microorganisms. Okay, so the other part of the program that I'm in is learning how to make biologically complete compost, which this is not. Okay, this was my first test pile. I learned a lot from her, but she didn't make it. Okay, so I am gathering my materials together for my second pile, and I just want to give a shout out to some of the contributors. First of all, you saw the coffee grounds. I've been going around to all the local coffee shops, and thank you to all of the local coffee shops that contributed. I'll need to make a list, just naming all of you, because there are a lot of coffee shops in this town. And I didn't even hit up all of them. All right, and then here I've been gathering up some straw bedding from Heartsong Farm. I can't get the name straight. Okay, here I am. I've gathered up some straw bedding from Songbird Farms, where my friend has a whole bunch of animals, but llama being among them. So this is some of the bedding from the shed that they have outside. And then here I've got some old mushroom kits that in one way or another weren't very productive, or they weren't pretty, for sales. And these were donated by my friend at Micro Uprisal, which is a mushroom kit farm. And they've got great products. This is just the stuff that didn't make the grade. So I'm recycling it and using it as woody material for my next pile. What else is there? Some other things that are not pictured here, but I'm also going to be cutting up a bunch of cardboard, which I've been gathering from local convenience stores and grocery stores and such, and then slicing them up into about 1 to 2 inch squares. I'm getting some 12 buckets of beer mash from Headless Mumby Brewing, which is right up the street from me. So that is awesome. Thank you to them. And I'm waiting to hear from the Osho Cultural Center to see if they will be doing a lot of cooking this week, which I imagine they are because they make some awesome food. And see if I can't collect their food scraps for this week. And I'm hoping that I will be starting a pile this Saturday, which brings me to the point of this video. Other than to give you an update, of course, of what I'm doing, and to give a shout out to all the great donors for all the starting materials for this test pile. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is that right now I am looking for 6 volunteers who are able to shovel. Okay. There will be a total of about 50 of these 5-gallon buckets of materials, all different kinds, that will need to be mixed together very well. They will have all been wet down before, so there's going to be some weight to them. And we're going to mix them and fluff, 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 fluff as we put it into a cage like this one. That is very important. Oxygen is a very, very important ingredient for like I was saying, oxygen is a really important ingredient for thermophilic composting, which is what we're doing here. We are making up a recipe of a combination of woody materials, of green materials, and of high nitrogen materials. And all of these are to feed the microorganisms. The high nitrogen materials are going to get the party started and get those bacteria reproducing and heating up the pile. And that's the heat that you see in a pile, and the steam that you see coming off a pile, that's from bacteria reproducing. Can you believe it? All right, so then we have green materials that will be mixing into it, and the green materials are what's going to help keep the party going after the initial bam of, party food has been used up. And then we're going to put in a certain percentage of woody materials, and the woody materials are going to help hold pockets of air and help to keep the moisture well distributed in the pile. And like I said, we'll have to fluff it really good as we put it into the cage, and then just sit back and take the temperature at least once every 24 hours for the next month, really. If all goes well, then within a month should have a compost that is full of good, healthy life. And that good, healthy life will have converted all of these starting materials into soil, into healthy, healthy soil. And healthy soil produces healthy plants. Healthy plants produce healthy fruit. Healthy fruit brings healthy guts. Healthy guts help to bring health to our bodies, to our minds, to our spirits. And so it's not just about recycling. It's not just about, having good compost to add to your garden. It's so much bigger than that. And this, when the compost is healthy and full of life, when soil is full of life, it holds moisture, it holds structure, it holds form. It doesn't contribute to landslides. It doesn't contribute to flooding. In so many ways, it's a game changer. The things that we hear every day on the news about landslides, about floods, about food insecurity, about killer windstorms from dirt that just blows across the freeway and blinds drivers and they get into an accident. And did you know that farmers are among the highest rate of suicide in this country? And do you have any idea why? It's the cost of farming. It's using fertilizers. We don't need to use fertilizers. We need to stop using fertilizers. And I'm not just talking about for our health. I am talking about the health of the microorganisms that we need to be working with in the soil. Because when we add fertilizers into the soil, we are obliterating the life in that soil. We need to work with life. So that's what I'm here for. And if you are interested in coming to learn about, the microorganisms, working with microorganisms to build healthy soil, and really building community, building, some shared knowledge about how we can turn things around in this world, how we can make this the world that we want to live in, the world where we're not just surviving, but we are thriving. That's what I want to see. I want to see people thriving all around, okay, from every walk of life. I want to see people thriving. And if you can support that, you are welcome here. So thanks for joining. And I wanted to also mention that I have started a Patreon page, and it is Patreon/ The Soil Detective. Yes, yes, I've launched The Soil Detective. It's my new business. What I will be able to offer once I get certified with the training program that I'm in, I will be able to offer biological soil assessments. So looking at your soil and identifying what microorganisms are in there and what is missing for the plant health that you want. Okay, every type of plant likes a different fungal to bacterial ratio in the soil. I'm learning how to read those ratios, okay? And I'm so excited about it because being able to look under a microscope and see the life and understand what you're seeing, it's a game changer, okay? Because then we can work with the microorganisms to create healthy conditions for the healthy microorganisms, okay? And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm so glad that you've come along, that you've showed some interest in this. I look forward to posting more content. As a matter of fact, I just spoke with a friend's kiddo, who's not such a kiddo anymore. They are older than my young adult son. Anyway, they have agreed to help me with video editing. So look out. The content is coming, okay? Because I am filming every day. And now that I'm going to have help with editing, look out, okay? We constantly posting. So keep an eye out for that. If you are interested in learning about thermophilic composting, working with the biology, and you are able to fluff. The idea is with 6 volunteers, we'll just take turns with this one tool, and nobody will have to work too hard for too long, okay? We'll just take turns, fluff, pass it along, fluff, pass it along, and I'll be sure to provide some refreshments and some food so that you have lots of energy for the work ahead. So that's going to be this coming Saturday, which is, I'll put it on the screen what the date is. So when this video goes on to live past that date, you'll know that maybe right now I don't need some help, or maybe I will, because I plan on doing this again and again and again and again. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so sorry that this pile didn't work out, but I have a feeling that this one is, okay? Because I learned some things from this failed pile. What I learned is that having a compost pile, a thermophilic compost pile, is like having a high needs teenager living in your backyard, okay? If you look around, this shelter here is nicer than my room, okay? Just trust me on that, all right? The reason why it's so nice is because we don't want rain falling on her, because those raindrops can cause compaction, and that compaction can create anaerobic conditions in the pile, and that's where the bad microorganisms like to grow. So we want to control the moisture, and one of the ways we do that is to ensure that it's not getting direct rain or even drops of condensation that, you know, if we ended up covering it with a tarp, at some point we'd want to make sure that it's not collecting condensation underneath. All right, so let's see, what else do we want to know about what I learned from this pile? I learned that I should not punch chimneys in the pile unless it gets up to 170 degrees or higher. I'll make a video about what I'm talking about another time, okay? What else did I learn? I learned that it is very challenging to ensure that you're keeping a 50% moisture. If you're interested in knowing how to measure for 50% moisture, you can either come volunteer this Saturday, or you can wait until I make a new video on that. Okay, what else did I learn? I learned that The beer mash was really good starting material because it heated up really quickly. But unfortunately, I punched some chimneys in it too early, and it cooled it down, and then it struggled to get back up to temperature. What I also learned is that the hot center isn't always in the true center of the pile. I wish I had known that before I gave up on the pile, because it had a chance of still being successful. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. It's a lot of information to learn. Just look out for future content, okay? All right. So I think that's about gonna cover it for this initial check-in, cry for help. I really could use some help. It'll be a fun time. We'll build community. We'll have refreshments. You'll learn something about soil biology and about thermophilic composting. So if you're interested, let me know. Okay, get a hold of me this Saturday, 6 people this Saturday, okay? All right, you know where I am? You know where to find me. You know how to get a hold of me, right? Okay, all right. Well, I look forward to it. You have a great day, and please do something every day to cultivate joy in your life. Until next time.